Okay, so sorry for the slight delay getting started here, everybody. So we have just one person in the studio here today and a couple of you online. Thank you so much for sharing your Sunday morning with us. So before class, so if you have a strap, grab one, or at home there, dog leash, towel, bathrobe. We're gonna do on the floor, the Supta Padangusthasana, and then also cow face arms at some point, hopefully. So nothing too long. If you don't have a strap, probably a towel would work, or a t-shirt too. And then the reason I have 2 blocks, we don't have anything specific with them, but we are going to be doing a warrior 3 early or later, and also some half moons. So if you need blocks for either of those, or just in general for triangle, anything to get the earth for forward fold, to get the earth a little closer to you, do grab a block or 2. So real quick before, oh, sorry, I can't stand it if my mat isn't completely lined up with the line. Okay, so last week, in the last couple of weeks, we had yoga workshops with Gabriel Halpern online. I know, Alice, you were in there with us. He has a lot of great words of wisdom. He's a very interesting man. He kind of yells them at you. He's like yelling like words of like peace and light and happiness to you. It's very funny, actually. It's an interesting balance. I adore him. But one of the things that he said, you know, very early on in our very first session with him, we were doing a hand mudra, and somebody said, I can't get it. And he looked and he yelled and he said, yet. And she's like, what? He's like, you can't get it yet. She's like, okay. He's like, say it. He made her say it. I can't do it yet. Because there's a really big difference between the sentence, I can't do it, and I can't do it yet. And think about the mental blockades. When you say to yourself, I can't do something, you're writing that story. You are writing that story for the future, and everything you do between now and whenever is affected by that idea of, well, if I can't do it. So if there's a yoga pose, well, I know I can't touch my toes. So then why try? Why do anything else, right? So you don't want to write that story and limit yourself. So not just in yoga, but in life, just remember, I can't do it yet. And then there's things like, say, today I just said we're going to be doing half moon. Some days I can do half moon and some days I can't. So it's not so much a yet, but I can't do it today. So adding just that one word to the end of your sentence, either yet or today, can not only change your attitude in the moment and about maybe something as simple as a yoga pose, but just think about the effect that has in your life going forward with those words. And so be kind to yourself, lift yourself up, be encouraging to yourself, and don't limit yourself. Don't write yourself out of your own story. Okay. So with that set in mind, I think this is one of those classes that's going to be a little bit more challenging, although sometimes when I think that, it ends up not being. But just keep telling yourself that today is, you know, I can't do it yet, or I can't do it today. So take a moment just to breathe into that, come into your practice, come onto your mat, get out of your head. And so I'll just take a nice big deep breath in, filling all the way up the spine to the tippy top of your head. And exhale, let it out. Sink the shoulders away from your ears and onto your back. Nice big deep breath in, filling the belly. Exhale completely, letting it all go. One more time, really nice big deep breath in. And exhale, let it out. All right, grab that strap that I was bragging about. We're going to come onto our backs and start off with Supta Padangusthasana. So I'm going to pull my music on here. Okay. So strap around the arch of the right foot. Let your left leg go long. Go ahead and stretch the right foot up to the sky. Take the left hand, maybe place it on your hip just for a moment, just to remind yourself to keep that hip down, and then take both hands to the strap, crawl it up as close to your right foot as you can, and then flex through that right foot. So pull the toes down towards your knee. And then think about that long left leg too. Flex your left toes, pulling them towards that knee, and think about pressing that left thigh down into the earth now, okay? So crawl those hands up the strap as much as you can, take a breath in, and just a very gentle pull in towards your abdomen. Just waking up the hamstrings, not going to overexert them yet. And just keep breathing into that back of your leg right there. And go ahead and take that strap in your right hand. Take that left hand back to your left hip. Press down onto that hip. Just remind yourself that we're only going to go as far over as we can until this hip pops up. So we want this left hip down. Keep flexing through both feet and open up your right leg to the right. Again, just take it as far as you can without that left hip coming up. Left shoulder on the ground as well. And then keep flexing the foot, pressing the heel away from you, toes towards that knee. And then on your next inhale, slowly bring that right leg back up to the center. Switch out the strap to your left hand. Let your right arm go long this time. Keep flexing both feet, and then just take that right leg over to the left, just about 2 or 3 inches. And hold it here. And really notice where you're feeling that. I feel it a lot in my IT band here. All right, take a breath in, and then on your exhale, 2 or 3 more inches over to the left. And hold it here. Okay, another breath in, and then this time on your exhale, go ahead and twist that over as far as you want. You can go ahead and take that right hip off of the mat. Try to leave your right shoulder down. And then pull the right leg all the way back up through center. Take both hands to the strap, flex both feet, and again, now gentle pull in towards your chest. And then go ahead and bend that right leg, release the strap, let the right leg go long next to the left. Sandy always says this is her favorite part, feeling the difference now between those 2 legs. And then go ahead and bend your left knee and take that strap, put it on the arch of your left foot. Same setup as on the other side. Let's just take that right hand down to our right hip, just to remind us where everything is. Flex through your right toes, press down through your right thigh. And then take both hands to the strap, flexing through the left foot this time. Crawl the hands up as close to your foot as you can get them, both shoulders on the ground. And then nice gentle pull in, very so slightly, towards your chest. All right, go ahead and take the strap all the way in your left hand, put your right hand back on that right hip, press it down, remind yourself to keep that hip grounded, flexing through both feet. Inhale, open up towards the left side with the left foot, only as far as you can go, keeping that right hip down onto the ground. Pull the toes towards the knee, heel away from you. And then on your next inhale, gently and slowly bring it back up through the center. Switch that strap now into your right hand. Let your left arm go long on the mat. Again, engage through the thighs, engage through the feet. Take a breath in and then exhale 2 to 3 inches over to the right. Hold it here. Take another breath in. Exhale another 2 to 3 inches to the right. I don't know about you, but right there, that's where I feel it. One more breath in, and then exhale, take that as far over to the right as you would like to twist. And then go ahead and inhale it all the way back up to the center. Take both hands to the strap, nice gentle pull in towards your chest. And then bend that knee, release the strap, let both legs go long for just a moment. Take the strap off to the side, pull those knees into your chest, rock and roll from side to side, and then rock and roll the length of your spine until you come up through a seated position. And let's swing right around into a downward facing dog. Okay, so walk out this dog a little bit. Your legs should feel a little bit loosey-goosey now after all of that. So shouldn't need to wake them up too much here. Press through the knuckles, drag those finger pads towards the top of the mat, taking all the pressure off your wrist. And then walk your hands back towards your feet, towards a forward fold at the back of your mat. Take those hips up towards the sky, crown of the head towards the earth. And then bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull the shoulder blades onto your back. And then exhale, fold it down. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach it for the sky. Keep your fingers extended. Exhale your shoulders away from your ears. All right, take your thumbs and hook them together and pull your hands apart, keeping the thumbs together. Feel all that broadening. Little butterfly pose here. Keep on pulling on the thumbs. Take a breath in and then exhale, take them over to the right. Inhale it back up to center and exhale it to the left. Inhale it to center. Go ahead and release the thumbs, reach it up, and then exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, walk forward into a plank pose. All right, from this plank pose, let's press up, downward facing dog. So your hands and feet should stay in the same place. You might feel like this dog is a little too wide, but we're gonna inhale back forward into that plank pose. And then one more time, press those hips up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward, and then exhale, come to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. And bring your hands down to your heart center. All right, let's inhale those hands all the way back up. We'll take an open arm twist. So on your exhale, right hand behind you, left hand forward. Pull back through the left hip and forward with the right, trying to keep the hip points square to the top of the mat. Inhale it back up. And then exhale it to the other side. And then back up. And hands down to your heart center. All right, we're gonna do quick cow face arms, but without the strap. So if your fingertips don't touch, that's okay. So in cow face, we're here. So if you can get the bind, that's fine. Otherwise, just place your hands on the back of your shirt. We're just gonna do a little stretch. So first we take the right arm up and then take your left hand to that elbow, bend it, give yourself a pat on the back, pull back through the right elbow. All right, crawl those right fingertips down your back as much as you can. Take your chin back and then release the left hand out to the left side, thumb down. And then bend that elbow, take it up your back. And again, reaching either for your fingertips if they can reach. If not, just place both hands on your back or grab your shirt. Because again, we don't want to do anything too deep too early in class. And then go ahead and release that. And we'll do it on the other side. So left arm comes up, take your right hand to the elbow, bend it back, take it down your back. Again, I always take my chin down when I do that. So I'm gonna pull my chin up and back. Keep pulling those fingers down your back and then release the elbow. Right hand comes to the right, thumb down. And then bend your elbow and bring it up your back, either grasping the fingers or your shirt. And then release that and let it go. All right, getting warm. Let's do some sun salutations. So top of your mat, feet hip distance apart, toes and knees in line with these beautiful hip points right here. Fingertips pointing down towards the earth. Pull up through the abs and down through the tailbone. Inhale the arms all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, plank pose. Take a breath in here in plank, and then on your exhale, bend your elbows, pinning them towards your ribs, Chaturanga Dandasana. coming all the way down to your stomach. Turn those toes, press the toenails in deeply. Inhale, cobra pose. And then exhale, press up, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna do the little hip stretch with a twist here in downward facing dog. So take your right toes up, bend your right knee, and then stack that right hip on top of your left. Pull up through the left shoulder so everything's nice and even, and press down through the left heel. Go ahead and straighten through that right leg, and then take the right toes back down. We'll do it on the other side. Inhale the left foot up, bend through that knee, and then slowly stack the left hip on top of the right, this time pulling up through the right shoulder. And then straighten that leg and take your toes down. Big deep breath in here, bend your knees and look forward. And then on your exhale, journey to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. We'll flow through 2 more times here. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Take a breath in and plank, and then exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, in this downward facing dog, step your toes in about 2 or 3 inches closer to your hands so that your heels come down towards the mat a little bit closer, if not all the way down. We're gonna add a little twist here. So press down through your left hand and then take your right hand to your left ankle or your knee or your calf, whatever you can reach for. Shorten your dog as much as you need to. Maybe deepen it by taking a look underneath your left armpit. And then take that right hand back down to the mat. Get your foundation set and switch it out. Left hand comes across, reaches for the right leg. And then take that hand back down. Come up onto your tippy toes and then tippy toe walk towards your feet into a forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reach for the sky. And hands down to your heart center. All right, get your feet nice and situated. We'll do one more. Inhale it up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, take that plank pose. Pull up through the abs, press through the heels. Take another breath in here, and then exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. All the way down, inhale up into your cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna shorten that dog again, so walk your feet in until those heels touch to the ground. We're gonna add a little bit of balance in here. So first, pull up through the abs, okay? Knit the ribs in, pull the shoulder blades onto your back, and firm up your thighs. Keeping all of that, press through your left hand, see if you can just reach your right fingertips up off of the mat. Maybe try to lift your left toes up for balanced dog. And then put all 4 extremities back down. All right, doing it on the other side. Get everything engaged, nice and firm. Press through the right hand, lift the left fingertips up. Maybe try to lift the right toes up. And place them all down. All right, bend the knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. All right, I think we can get started here. All right, I'm gonna come facing this way for the top of my mat. All right, let's inhale, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hand, step the left foot back into a runner's lunge. Okay, press up through the left thigh and back to the left heel and pull the shoulders away from your ears. Sink the hips down just a little bit more. All right, plant the left hand, take the right hand to your hip, twist your torso, and then reach the right hand up. And then take that right hand back down. We are gonna come into a wide-legged fold here. So take both hands to the inside of your right foot, spin your back foot flat, and then crawl your fingers, your hands towards the middle of the mat and take your right toes to meet your left. So now we're all in a wide-legged fold, on the left, facing the left side of the mat. Inhale up onto your fingertips, and then exhale, fold all the way down. Take the crown of your head towards the earth. Hips up towards the sky. All right, just adding a little bit of stretches in here, a little dynamic movement. Walk your hands over towards your right foot, bend your right knee. And then walk your hands back through the middle of the mat towards your left foot as you bend your left knee. We'll do it again. Walk the hands over to the right foot, bending the right knee. And then walk them over to the left foot, bending the left knee. And then bring them back to the middle. All right, so now we're gonna take this to the back of the mat. So walk your hands back towards that left foot, turn your left foot towards the back of the mat, frame your left foot and come onto the ball of your right foot. So now we're in a runner's lunge with your left foot forward facing the back of our mat. Okay, press through the left foot, raise your right toes up, standing splits at the back of your mat. And then place the right toes down. Forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, back of the mat. Reach your hands up, and then let's do that butterfly stretch again. So take your thumbs to, hook your thumbs, pull them apart as if you're making a butterfly. Take a breath in, and then exhale, take your hands over to the right. Inhale it back up to center, and then exhale it over to the left. Inhale it back to center, release the thumbs, reach up towards the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down, step your right foot back, runner's lunge. So left foot forward, right foot back. We're still facing the back of our mat, pressing up through that right thigh and back to the heel, and then sink those hips down just a little bit lower. We're gonna transition back through that wide-legged fold. So take both hands to the inside of your left foot, and then go ahead and walk your hands to the center of the mat, turning your left toes to meet your right, back into that wide-legged fold. I queued that up a little bit weird. We're basically in a wide-legged stance facing the left side of our mat again. Okay, and now we're just gonna do that little bit of dynamic movement again. So go ahead and walk both hands over to your right foot, putting a bend in your right knee. And then walk the hands back through the middle of the mat to the left foot as you put a bend in the left knee. Taking it again, all the way over towards the right foot. And then all the way over towards the left. And then back to the middle. Take a couple of breaths here, bring the hips up nice and high, crown of the head towards the earth. Okay, now we're gonna transition back to the top of our mat. So walk your hands over to your right foot, turn your right toes back to the top of the mat, come onto the ball of your left foot. So now we are in a runner's lunge, right foot forward at the top of the mat. Press down through the right foot, lift your left toes, standing split. And then release the left toes down, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach all the way up. Then bring your hands down to your heart center. All right, grab a sip of water if you need it. When you're ready, we'll come back to the top of the mat. Take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale, let it all out. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step your left foot back again, runner's lunge. And then wiggle those toes back as far as you can, and then place the left knee down on the mat. And then let's bring the torso up, fingertips facing down. Right knee is in line right over the right ankle. And then squeeze the right heel towards the left knee for stability here. Inhale, reach your arms up. Pull the shoulder blades down, reach up through the fingertips. Bring your palms together to touch. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Very slowly draw a line on the ceiling towards the wall behind you. Inhaling through length through the fingertips. Exhaling towards the wall behind you. And then bring it back to center. Release the palms. And then take the right hand to the right hip. Reach up through the left fingertips. And then exhale, reach forward. Take that left elbow, hook it around the outside of your right knee. Use it as leverage. Turn your torso all the way towards the right side of the mat. And then maybe take that right hand off your hip, bringing it into a prayer pose. And then release that and reach it up. All right, we're gonna come up into a high lunge, so our legs are probably a little too far apart. So if you need to, go ahead and take your hands down to the mat, bring that back knee in just a little bit, and then either crawl your hands up or sweep them up, and we'll all meet in a high lunge. If you're still feeling really wobbly here, bring that back foot in a little bit and maybe off to the left a little bit. We wanna feel really nice and stable here. All right, we're gonna do another prayer twist here. So take that right hand back to your hip, reach up through the left fingertips, and then again, towards the top of the mat first, and then bend that elbow, place it to the outside of the knee. Take that twist first, pull back through the right shoulder, and then if you feel strong and stable, go ahead and take the prayer. Keep pulling up through the left thigh, and then release it and come up. All right, we're gonna step towards the top of the mat, so press through your right foot, bring your left foot to meet the right. And since we're reaching up like this and we're really working those quads, let's just bend our knees and come into a chair pose, Utkatasana. Because I know you love chair. And then forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands. This time, step the right foot back, wiggle the toes back, and then place the right knee down on the mat. Get that squeeze in, bring your torso up, fingers pointing down. Take a moment here to draw up through the abs, pull the rib cage in, and then inhale, bring it up. Take the palms to touch, reach up through the fingertips, exhale towards the wall behind you, inhaling through the fingers, exhaling, bending. And then bring it back up and release the palms. All right, left hand comes to the hip, reach up through the right fingertips, exhale towards the top of the mat. Bend that elbow, place it to the outside of the knee, turn the torso, and then go ahead and take your prayer position. And release the twist, reach it back up. Again, we're gonna come into high lunge, so I'm gonna take my hands down, pull that knee in a little bit closer, curl the back toes under, and then find high lunge. All right, again, get your stability here, nice foundation, and then take that left hand to the hip, reach up through the fingertips, exhale towards the top of the mat, and then take that twist. Whenever you're ready, bring the hands into the prayer position. And then release. Bring it up. Press the left foot, step forward. And then let's just bend our knees, one more chair pose for good measure to even it out. And forward fold. All right, take opposite hands to opposite elbows in a ragdoll position. Your hands should be nice and loosey-goosey by now. All right, release those elbows, let it hang down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. You can always press right up to downward facing dog if vinyasas are not in your practice today. If they are, go ahead and bend those elbows, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, press up cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, bring your right toes up, draw the knee in towards your chest, and then place the foot down in between the thumbs, however you need to get it there. Spin your back foot flat. We're all gonna meet in warrior two pose. So take a moment, get your warrior all nice and lined up. Think about that front thigh spiraling out and that back thigh spiraling in. And feel the squeeze. Keep everything right where it is. Flip your right palm and reverse your warrior, pulling up through the fingertips and then over the ear. And back through warrior two. All right, we're gonna take that down dog lunge. So go ahead and take your hands down to the mat to the inside of your right foot, and then walk your hands towards that upper left-hand corner of your mat as far as you can, trying to keep that knee right over your ankle. It might go out, it might go in. It's kind of hard to tell when you're in the lunge if it's moved or not. And then walk the hands back towards the foot and either press yourself up or walk your hands up your thigh and coming back into warrior two. Go ahead and straighten that front leg, give it a nice little break. Turn your right palm and reverse your triangle. And then keeping that leg straight, bring your arms back through. We'll come into full triangle. So go ahead and reach the right fingertips towards the top of the mat. Sweep the fingertips down and the left fingertips up. I always bring my right hand to the inside of my leg. I believe the Ashtanga is to the outside of the leg. All right, using your side body, so start to press up through those left fingertips so much that the right fingertips come up off of the earth, and then bring yourself back up. Let's bend through one last time here. And then go ahead and windmill your hands, frame that foot, step back, downward facing dog, or out of vinyasa, if that sounds good to you. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. All right, left toes come up. Bring that left knee in towards the chest and then place it on the mat in between your thumbs, however you need to get it there. Spin your back foot flat and come on up, warrior two. Good adjustments. All right, nice, big, strong warrior two. Get that squeeze in with your thighs. Flip the left palm and pull those fingertips up towards the sky and then over your ear towards that wall behind you. And then coming back through warrior two. For that down dog lunge, to first make sure that knee is right where it needs to be, okay? Really think about that knee and try to leave it there as you take the hands down to the mat, to the inside of the foot. Get all that squeeze in your thighs, and then walk your hands to the upper right-hand corner of your mat, taking a nice deep down dog lunge here. And then walk the hands back towards the foot and either crawl them up your thigh or sweep your arms up. Meeting again in warrior two. Straighten through that front leg, say ah. Flip your left palm and then press the fingertips up towards the sky and then over your ear towards the back of the mat. And bring the arms back through. We'll come into triangle pose here. So pull back through that right hip, reach through the left fingertips, and then sweep the arms into 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Keep pulling back to that right hip. Maybe send your gaze up towards the right fingertips. All right, start to reach up through the right fingers so much that you pull the left fingers up off of the earth. Bring your body back through and bend through that front leg.
Windmill the hands, frame the foot, step back, downward facing dog. And then come on down to your knees real quick and grab a sip of water. So 2 options for you at home or for in the studio. So I'm going to do a lizard lunge. I would love to do it on the wall, but maybe everyone at home doesn't have wall space and it might not be accessible to everybody. So I'm going to show you both. I think everyone's familiar with it on the floor, so I'm going to show it on the wall first. If you have wall space available and if you have the flexibility, what we can do is plant through the left foot and take the right foot to one of those, to that wall that we have, and then bring your hands to the wall to the inside of the foot. And it's very similar to what we do on the floor. And we can always even take a hand under and deepen it. Okay, so there's option 1. Option 2 is traditional lizard lunge. So you would bring your right foot forward, hands to the inside, and then same thing, we come down onto the floor. Okay, so pick a lizard lunge, either on the wall or on the floor, starting with the right leg forward. If you're on the wall, press your body towards the wall. If you're on the floor, come down onto your forearms or to a block. If you're on the wall, if you would like to, you can slide that right hand underneath your heel to the outside of your right foot. And then that helps deepen it. And if you're on the wall, you can always add a bind too, where you take that right hand off the wall and around the leg, left hand off the wall and grab, getting a little bit of a twist and a shoulder opener in there too. Or if you're on the floor, you can always press that knee away a little bit. So a couple more breaths here, deepening through. Finding a nice big hip stretch that works for you. And then slowly start to come up out of, if you're on the floor, press yourself up. If you're on the wall, take your foot down, shake it out. If you're on the floor, come back onto your knees, switch it out, left foot is forward. If you're on the wall, take your left foot up to the wall. Again, if you're on the floor, find your lizard lunge, perhaps down to the block or onto your forearms. If you're on the wall, press your body a little closer to the wall. Maybe take your left hand underneath the left foot. Maybe take a bind. One more round of breath wherever you are. And then if you're on the wall, go ahead and take the hands back to the center, press yourself up. If you're on the floor, press yourself up to the palms. And wherever we are, let's just all meet in a downward facing dog, because I don't know where everybody is, and that's just a great meeting point. So go ahead and pedal it out a little bit. And then drop those knees back down to the earth. We'll come into a tabletop position here. All right, so shoulders in line over the wrists, hips over the knees. All right, so first let's reach the, we're gonna reach the right fingertips out and the left leg back for bird dog. So nice straight line here, press the toes towards the earth and the heel towards the wall behind you, reach the fingertips, take a breath in here, and then exhale, right hand to the right, left leg to the left, awkward airplane. Bring it back to center and release it down. And watch out for props on the side. All right, we'll do it on the other side. So left fingertips come forward, right foot back. Take a moment here, nice straight line from your hip. Press the heel back. Take a breath in, and then exhale, open up, awkward airplane. And back to the center and down. All right, walk your hands back towards your knees. We'll come into some gate poses. Get your knees hip distance apart if they're not already, and hands to your heart center. Bring your right foot out to the right, toes pointing towards the center of the room. Straight line all the way from your hip, and then pull that right hip back and down. So everything should feel like a nice straight line. Keep pressing through the outside edge of the right foot, engage through that right thigh. Inhale, Hands up. Exhale, right hand to the leg, left fingertips reach up and then over the ear. Pull back through that right shoulder so everything's even with the top of your mat, and keep reaching through the fingertips. And then inhale it back up. And then let's take the right hand down to the mat. And then, left hand down to the mat. And then reach the right foot up. So we're doing a modified half moon here. So trying to get one straight line out from your hip, press through the heel, reach through the fingertips, and feel modified half moon. All right, go ahead and take those right toes down and swing yourself back up. And bring your hands to your heart center, and let's pull that knee in. And we'll do it on the other side. So left foot comes out, finding that nice straight line, toes pointing towards the center of your room. Left hip back and down. Hips right over, shoulders right over the hips. Square to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach it up. Keeping everything right where it is. Left hand down to that left leg. Reach up to the right fingertips and then over the ear. Keep pressing to the outside edge of that left foot. Really feel how that pulls up through the thigh. And then bring that back up. We'll take modified half moon on this side now. So right hand comes down to the mat. Lift the left toes up. Flex through the foot. Stack your hips. Stack your shoulders. Engage through the lifted thigh. And then gently place those toes back down and reach your right hand up. Bring your hands down to heart center, pull that knee in, and then let's come down and around onto your butts. Because we're gonna come onto our backs. Because it's time for some ab work. So stretch it out, shake it out, grab some water, do whatever you need to do, and then come on down to your backs. I think last week we did some ab bracing, so we're gonna start with one round of that. So bend your knees and just start by stamping your feet into the mat and with your knees bent. And then here we're gonna draw that belly button down towards the mat and take all the curve out of your back. So you shouldn't be able to put anything, any fingers, anything through underneath your back because you're taking all the curve out. You want a really flat back. Keeping all that engagement, lift your feet up, bending to the knees so your calves are parallel to the mat. And then take your hands to your upper thighs right above your knees. All right, keeping that belly button pulling in towards the spine, press your hands up and in on your thighs and press your thighs towards your hands. And then release that. Okay, so we're gonna do that again, but we're gonna add a little bit more to it. You're always welcome to just come back to traditional abdominal bracing, or this time bring your hands to your thighs again, pull that belly button down towards the earth. This time we're only gonna press our right hand into our right thigh, and then elongate your left leg out and your left arm behind you. And then keep pressing into that right thigh, and then draw your left elbow to your left knee. And then straighten back out. And again, elbow to knee. Don't lose all the other engagement. Straighten out. Again, elbow to knee. And straighten out. 2 more times, guys. Elbow to knee. Straighten. And elbow to knee. And straighten. And release everything. Because we do have another side to do. So you still want to keep all that engagement in the abs. You want to keep all that engagement in your pressing hand. And then we're going to add the crunch on the other side, okay? So bring those feet up. Belly button to your spine. This time press the left hand into the left thigh only. And then straighten through the right leg, straighten through the right arm. And then elbow to knee. And straighten. And crunch. And out. And in. 2 more to go. There we go. 1 more. Straighten it all out and crunch it in. Go ahead, straighten it out for good measure and then release everything. Do love abs. See, you guys shouldn't complain about boat pose. That's the moral of the story today, because then I have to get creative. All right, cross your feet at the ankles, rock and roll the length of your spine, and come on back up and swing right around into a downward facing dog. Grab some water if you need it on the way. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Okay, time check here. I promised all these half moons and all I've done is one on the floor. But we still have a little bit more ab work to do because, you know, why not? So let's shift our weight forward into a plank. And then we're gonna wiggle our heels to the right side, bring them back up to center, and wiggle our heels to the left. And back up to center, and right, and center, and left, and center. And press back up, downward facing dog. All right, we just need to get to our bellies. So go ahead and shift forward into a plank. I won't make you do more abs, but go ahead and bend those elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana, and we'll all meet on our stomachs. All right, curl the toes back, so press your toenails into the mat. Take your hands long to your sides. All right, so let's get all of our engagement first. So press the toenails in so much that the kneecaps come up and pull your belly button off the mat as much as you possibly can. Keep it there, but don't forget to breathe. Inhale, lift your chin and your chest. Lift your fingertips, maybe lift your toes. Try to take your feet together to touch. If this is too much on your back, take your feet back to hip distance apart, or take your toes back down to the mat. And release it down. All right, before we do it again, I want you to get all that engagement. So if your toes felt okay together, try to keep them together right here on the mat. Press your toenails in, pull up through the abs. Inhale, chest, chin, fingers, toes up off of the mat. Keep reaching the fingers back towards those toes. Think about lifting up through the heart. And release down. All right, we do things in threes. Get all your engagement, belly button up. Keep that belly button pulled in as you inhale up, one last locust. And release it down. All right, pull your hands up, palms on the mat, fingertips in line with the armpits. Curl those toes and press up, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward. And exhale, come to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach all the way up. And hands to your heart center. All right, grab those blocks if you want them for warrior three. Because we're just gonna play with balance a little bit before we do half moon, because we've been doing a lot of leg work and a lot of ab work and hips. Haven't been working on balance, and so much of half moon is drawing in of the abs and all that expansion in the side body like we've been working, but it's also a lot of balance. So I wanted to do some warrior threes just to start off before we do a half moon. Normally, if you were on the studio, we could do, you know, against the wall for stability. We have all kinds of things we could do, but since we can't work up to it that way, we'll try it this way. All right, so let's start. Let's see. We'll start with warrior three. So press down through the right foot, come onto your left toes, just to kind of shift the weight. And then use this opportunity to firm up through that right thigh. So really take that thigh, like rotate it in and back, okay? And draw up through the abs and pull your shoulders on your back. Think about this nice straight line, pressing straight down into the earth, and then slowly start to shift your weight forward, lifting the toes up. Bring your hands down to those blocks if you need them, or keep your hands at heart center if you don't. Okay, so try to keep your hips even here and keep pulling up through the abs and just really concentrate on pressing down through the standing foot. And then I do want to come into standing splits here, so go ahead and take your hands down to those blocks or all the way to the earth and take the crown of the head towards the toes and lift the left toes up a little bit higher. And then release your foot down. And then let's inhale, come all the way back up. Okay, and we'll do it on the other side. So again, I just really want you to think about the engagement here. So as you shift the weight to your left foot, press down into the left foot through all four corners and just come onto the right toes. And then use this opportunity to firm up through the thigh, turning it back and away, pull up through the abs and down through the ribs. And then slowly start to shift your weight forward and send that right foot back. Taking your hands either to the blocks or leaving them at heart center. Remembering, if you're shaky today. If you can't do it, you can't do it yet. And then bring the hands down to the mat for standing splits. And then take the toes down. All right, inhale, let's come all the way up. And hands down. All right, so we are going to do vinyasa because we haven't done a lot of those, into a warrior two, into a triangle, and then we're coming to half moon from triangle. So I had mentioned earlier in triangle, I tend to bring my fingertips down to the inside of my foot because that's how I was taught. I believe traditional, right? Ashtanga, I think, is to the outside of the foot. Okay. When you're transitioning to half moon, I do like it on the outside of the foot. So just to show you what we're going to do is we'll take that top hand and we look down. You bent this knee and then you can just move these fingertips slightly forward. Okay. And then if this is where if you need a block, you would take them to your block. And then if you can't just lift your back foot up from here, we just scoot it in a little bit and then just play with it. Okay. And if this is your half moon, this is your half moon. We're just working on it. Okay. And if not, we're slowly stacking the hip on top of the hip, flexing through, trying to have a nice straight line here, lots of expansion. Okay, so that's what we're going for. Take it to whatever level works for you, okay? So first, let's vinyasa. So top of the mat, please. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. And lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, the right toes come up and then send them through, get them down to the mat in between your thumbs, however you need to get them there. Spin your back foot flat and come up into your warrior two. All right, let's straighten through the front leg. Pull back that left hip because we want all of our hips nice and in line here. Reach through the right fingertips and then sweep your arms open into that triangle pose, bringing your hand down to your leg, the earth, or a block. All right, from triangle pose, take your left hand to your hip, take a look at your right toes, slight bend in your right knee, and take the fingertips towards the top of the mat in front of the feet, and then slowly lift the left toes up, flex through the left foot, firm up through the right thigh, and then slowly stack the left hip on top of the right. And if you feel good there, reach the left hand up. And if you feel good there, send your gaze up towards your left hand. And then release the left hand down to the mat, brief standing split, and then take the toes down. Forward fold. All right, we'll do it on the other side. So come up halfway lift, exhale, plant the hand, step back, downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa to get there. All right, lift your left toes up and then send the left foot forward, plant it down on the mat, spin that back foot flat, and find a warrior two. All right, straighten through the left leg, pull back through the right hip, and then reach to the left fingertips and open up into that triangle pose. All right, right hand to the hip, take a look down at the left toes, and send the fingertips to the top of the mat in front of the foot, and then lift the right foot up. Before you do anything else, firm up that standing leg, draw into the abs, flex the right foot, and then slowly take your stack. And release the right hand down. Whew. Don't watch me. And then forward fold. All right, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. Okay, so now I'm going to try it a different way. Lots of fun, kind of built up to it. So we're going to do a warrior three again. Hands down to the blocks if you need to. And then from the warrior three, hands down, we're going to take a standing split. And from standing split, we're going to stack our hips and come into half moon. So it's a little bit harder. So even though it's from the triangle, you're dealing with getting that back foot forward enough. Everything's really in line there. So from the standing splits, it's a little bit harder because you take a lot more balance as you shift your hips square where they kind of already are stacked when you're doing it the other way. So it just adds an extra layer of challenge. So do have some blocks available if you need them. I believe I will today. We'll start off with warrior three. So stand firmly on your right foot, press it down into the mat, come onto your right toes, and then slowly start to shift your weight, your left toes. I apologize. Shift your weight forward and take your left toes back behind you, either hands to heart center or down to those blocks. And then bring your hands down to the mat or to the blocks for standing splits. Okay, so first, come up onto your fingertips and then start to stack your hip. Okay, let your left hip come up high, flex through your left foot, and then bring your left hand to your hip as you continue to rotate your torso, stacking your shoulders. And then if you have it, raise your left hand up towards the sky. I don't believe I have it today. And then go ahead and release that left hand down and your left foot down. And then come on back up. So something that I did that I'm working on. So when I go to balance on one foot, I notice, especially when I do half moon, I turn my right heel in, which it should be straight. And these lines on my mat help remind me of that. I didn't ever realize I did that until I got this Lifeform mat. And then when I can see my foot lined up against the line, for some reason, I think that that's gonna help my balance. I turn my heel and it doesn't. It just tweaks my knee more and makes it all more difficult. So pay attention to your feet, that you're not shifting them like I am. Do what I say, not as I do. It's really hard to break habits. So take a look down. Are your toes and your heels and your knees and your hip points aligned? And can you leave them that way? I don't know if I can, but we're gonna try. Shift the weight to the left foot, come onto the right toes, and then slowly start to shift your weight forward and lift the toes back behind you for a brief warrior three. Hands to heart center or to the blocks. And then lower down into your standing splits. Hands to the blocks or to the mat. And then raise your right heel up and then slowly start to stack your right hip on top of your left. Plant your left fingertips on the earth or on a block. And when you're ready, bring your right hand to your hip and keep on stacking. And when you're ready, go ahead and release that hand and release the foot down. Give yourself a ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. And release down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And let's come all the way up. Let the blood rush back down. We were upside down there a lot. So take a moment to breathe through it, grab some water if you need it. I promised cow face. Running out of time, but that's okay. Alice is thinking upside down in case anyone was wondering. All right, you got it? Okay, all right, let's take one last vinyasa. If it's in you, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back, either plank or right into your downward facing dog. If you're in plank, take your vinyasa, lowering through chaturanga.
Inhaling up through your back bend and exhaling, downward facing dog. All right, for cow face, we're gonna bring our right knee down to the mat, to the center of the mat, okay? And then take your right foot out to the left as much as you can. And then bring your left knee directly behind your right, and then your foot out to the left. Okay, grab a block, a blanket, a bolster. If you cannot, sit your hips all the way back down behind you. Okay, so we want both sit bones firmly planted on the mat, on a blanket, on a block, but we want to be nice and even here. So your right one's probably popping up a little bit if you need to put something even just under your right one, or if you're nice and square on the mat, do so. Okay, not everybody's cow face is going to look exactly like this, and that's okay. This is just the goal, is knee over knee right in the center. A lot of times people end up with one knee up a little bit. So whatever you need to do to feel comfortable here. And if you're not comfortable here, you can always straighten one leg and just do it this way, okay? But this is what our goal is. Okay, so we have right knee on top of left. So this time, left hand comes up. Sorry, grab a strap if you need it for a bind. We are gonna go into full. So left hand comes up, and then again, let's just guide that elbow down like we did at the beginning of class. If you're like me, take that chin up and back, okay? And then right hand comes out to the right, thumb points down, and then bend through the right elbow and bring the hand up your back towards that strap, or if you can get the full bind, taking the clasp. Okay, what is this? This is October, right? Try to do this stretch a couple times a week so that by next summer you can put sunscreen on your own back. All right, and release the arm. Put the strap off to the side, and we'll switch it out. So crawl your hands forward, come back up, onto the knee, and then unpretzel yourself. Coming through a tabletop or whatever, or take the press Rita switch if you know it. This time, left knee comes forward, left foot out to the right side of the mat, right knee comes right behind it, and then out to the left side of the mat. And then sit yourself back again, either on the mat, a block, a blanket, a pillow, a bolster, wherever you need to have both sit bones attached to something. And then the goal is to have knee over knee and both feet flexed. Again, take whatever variation of this works. If your knees are apart, if you need to straighten out your right leg and just take your left knee over, whatever works for you. And then we're gonna take the strap in your right hand if you need it. Bring that arm up, guide it down your back, chin up and chin back, left hand out to the side, thumb points down, bend through the elbow, take it up the back, and grab for your fingers or the strap or your shirt. And just take a couple of breaths here. Thinking about the beach you'll be sitting on next summer when you put that sunscreen on your back. And we don't have a care in the world. And we can just pretend like this whole year didn't happen. And then slowly release the bind. And then just simply sit back and unpretzel. And bring your legs out in front and shake them out. Give them a little bit of love. We did a lot more hamstring work than I think I had planned on coming into today, but it felt good. All right, flex your feet, draw the toes towards your knees, sit up really tall, press your thighs down into the mat. Remember, chin up and back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Then exhale, reach them forward. And release the hands down. Inhaling towards the toes, and exhaling, stomach towards your thighs. With each breath, take those little micro movements, lengthening and deepening. And then go ahead and release the fold and come on down to your back, please. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock and roll from side to side.
All right. Let's take some quick twists here just to round out our practice. So pull your knees off of your chest, calves parallel to the earth, feet flex, cactus your arms. Take a breath in. On your exhale, let both knees fall over to your right side. Try to keep your left shoulder blade pinned down onto the earth. And then inhale those knees back up to center and take them over to the left. And then inhale the knees back up to center. Take any final poses or motions you need here to get yourself ready for your final resting pose of Shavasana. And whenever you're ready, find your Shavasana. Maybe letting your legs go long on the mat, palms facing up towards the sky for traditional Shavasana. Maybe bending your knees, letting your knees fall in towards each other for constructive rest. Your hips are feeling really good, maybe Supta Baddha Konasana. And just let go. Be proud of everything you did here on the mat. Be proud of trying your best. Be proud of what you can do today. And be proud of what you're working towards tomorrow. Start to bring awareness back through your body and back through your mind by deepening your breath, making small movements in the fingers and the toes and the wrists and the ankles. And stretch both arms overhead and your feet towards the top of your mat for a nice big last morning stretch. Take another deep breath in, and on your exhale, draw your knees up into your chest for a big hug in. And when you're ready, gently roll to one side, using your arm as a pillow. Taking a breath, taking a moment. And then slowly make your way up to a seated position
Eyes closed, hands to your heart center. Again, thank you all so much for sharing your morning practice with all of us here today. And again, I hope you're as proud of yourselves as I am of you for getting up, for doing something for yourself, for doing your best, whatever that meant for you today, and whatever that means for you tomorrow. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. We do have this afternoon, Susan Short of Touching Sky Meditation is going to be here taking us through a meditation workshop, Meditation is a Refuge. She's going to just talk about the importance of it and give us some tips on just the best postures, the best breathing techniques, and taking us through a couple of different ways to meditate and just the importance of it when there's so much chaos happening around you that you can't control, how you can kind of control what's going on inside of you. We're doing it both in the studio and online. So I think we've got about 4 spaces left in the studio, or you can always meet us online. And then next weekend, we have a workshop with Lane Fenrich. He was Allison's very first teacher. He's on the North Shore. He teaches at Yoga View and Wilmette, and I forget where else on the North Shore. He's going to take us through a workshop called Rethinking Vinyasa, a down dog free approach to yoga. So it's just a different way to inspire us to kind of approach our practice differently. And a lot of people who complain sometimes about all the down dogs on their wrists, that could be a good one for you to give yourself some ideas for your home practice, so you can get a lot of benefit without all the down dogs, although I do love a good downward facing dog. So we'll see how it goes. So do check out the website, and we do hope to see you guys at some of those. So have a great day. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hey, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. Hey, what's up?
Meditation, because I've been gone for so many Sundays, but I would love to do that. I was interested in getting a chime. So what's
Getting a what?
A chime or a gong?
Oh.
Or like meditation?
Yeah. Like the tingsha bells or like a gong?
I don't know. Like, I do have really nice chimes, but it's downstairs. Well, go away. He's laughing at me. So maybe like a small one, like for so I could put it by my side. Like
yeah.
And just mentally. I can get
chime app.
No, I don't want an app. Jeez, F those. That's enough of the apps, okay? Enough of the apps. So yeah, just like either like whatever you suggest. Because
I'll ask Susan Short today if she has ideas. We got ours. We got some from there's a place up north called Ginger Blossom. They don't sell online, but they get all their stuff directly from India and like Sri Lanka and they travel a couple times a year and collect stuff and bring it up. So it's really cool, but you never really know what they're going to have. I'll ask Allie though, because she got our tingsha bells somewhere downtown, I think too.
Oh, okay.
Those are the only ones I know of offhand. They have a million like on Amazon and stuff, but you just don't know the weight. Like it feels good to feel them in person.
Yeah, it feels that, and then to clink them, so so it's cleansing enough for your energy.
Yeah, because I know the ones that I ordered for my house on Amazon, I don't like the sound. They're too tinny sounding.
Oh, okay.
So, Julie, do you have any thoughts?
So I was just gonna say they come in different what's the G? What is that? Different letters, sound letters. So there's like an application that you can actually test them to see what sound they are, and then you'll start to learn what is it? What do you call that? Note? Yeah, note. So like they're different notes, and some of them will resonate more with you. If you kind of Google it, you'll find some of them go with your chakras based on the note. There's a lot of there's musical note, yeah, the musical note.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes into them, more than you would think. So I don't know if you've studied chakras at all. No. Okay. So I'm getting a little deep on you.
No, it's okay. No, that's very interesting, because I know that there's a lot of meditation music that goes at like a certain vibration, like certain
Frequency.
Yeah, and it can help. It's sort of like the gong meditation that you had.
Yeah. Did you do it yet last night?
What?
Did you do the gong meditation last night?
No, I didn't do it last night.
So basically, I don't have them all up on the website. We're doing an affiliate program with Delmora, with Marian and Gabriella. Basically every Thursday and Saturday they're doing a gong. So I'm going to start putting them all up. If you go through our website to register with them, it's an affiliate, so we get a little bit of credit for it.
Oh, okay.
I can give you his email too. Like he might be able to help you find somewhere to get them too.
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, I agree with what she said. I need to, like, you know, like I want to know what I'm getting, you know, in terms of like, I need to touch and feel and hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of them you're
Like,
gonna
I like the really
rate.
heavy ones. Kathy and Jim had beautiful, nice, heavy ones they took with them that I'm like, and they were a gift because we're like, where'd you get these? And they were a gift, so they didn't know. Like, we could not find ones as beautiful as what they had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you know, we can't go fully to a store. I thought maybe if we went to one of those Buddhist stores, they might have something, but I don't know. You know, it's not.
Yeah, Ginger Blossom is the only one I can really think of. But like I said, you never really know what they're going to have. And with all the restrictions this year, I don't know where they've traveled and how much stuff they'll have up there. It's really cool. It's a farm up north. I think it was about a half hour north of here.
Okay.
Oh, it's so cool there. We went there when we first were buying the studio to get some stuff for it. It's a really cool place what they have there. Have you ever been, Julie?
I think I want to go.
I want to go.
God.
It's got like 3 different barns that have all this stuff. Oh, it's so cool.
Okay.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to write that on my list once things settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Maybe for Christmas. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great week.